And we already got an update video. Yeah, slowly but surely, right? We're currently, read successful. Press to return. Okay, so we've just read the ECU, which we're going to reprogram. Why? Do you two mind? Okay, let's start easy. What have I done in terms of maintenance? First off, I took the wheels off and put brand new tires on. Go for a test ride tomorrow, but these are Michelin Commander 2s, and they are lighter than the stock Kenders that were on here. Mind you, the Kenders were from 2014, huh? Remember, guys, if your tires are older than 4 or 5 years, get rid of them, because the rubber will be so hard and won't flex as easily anymore. So, put these on, nice and grippy, strong, and I said lighter. I mean, the wheels are lighter already. Then I took off both wheels and replaced the bearings. And if you are the guy who sprayed these rims, you son of a bitch, why didn't you tape off the inside? You oversprayed and then you put the bearings in there. You know what sort of super glue that makes? 5-pound hammer plus an extension rod. Yeah, no kidding there. And once I was done, basically you had these hairs of old paint coming out with the bearing as I scraped the side. So I took, 400 grit sandpaper, cleaned all of that out and pushed the new bearings in. Rock solid. What else? SBS brake pads have been put in, and the reservoir, and here's a strange one, the stuff in the reservoir was old, but the stuff in the lines was clear. So this thing must have been standing in UV or I don't know. Also, the cap for the brake fluid reservoir behind the rubber, the paint has been peeling off. So I'm guessing that was painted as well with inferior fucking paint. Replacement online. Yeah, okay. Right, so that was that. Were the bearings bad? Yes. When you put your finger in it and you phrasing. When you put your finger in the hole, when you try to turn the bearing using your hand, it's supposed to turn. These didn't. I mean, I could really try and they turned. The grease was absolutely old school, really. I mean, the grease already was on pension fund, okay? And that was front and back wheel bearings. Then, coming to the belt drive, was also one of those pains. One of the bearings went, you could turn it, and then it went click, and a bit of resistance, you turned it again, there was another click, and then turned again. So that bearing had either a spot or had collapsed inside, also had to be exchanged. Again, you fucker who painted this, you did the same thing here. Just fucking... New SBS brake pads, also fitted, and just flush the rear brake fluid, because the rear usually turns the oldest because it's almost never used, or sometimes it's used more than the front, but never mind. Also tried polishing, first attempt to get this blowtorch marking material off and get this thing polished again. That still is ongoing till I find the right method. The indicators, like I said, this thing was digging into the seat, so what I'm going to do, going to take galvanized nuts, move it out a little bit, and those galvanized nuts, we're going to heat them up with a blowtorch and dip them in old oil, which will turn them black and corrosion resistant. So there's no bling here. So nice little blackout. Battery, tested that as well. It's okay, but it will need replacement. It's one of the old ones, not an AGM, not a gel, it's the OEM. And after 5 years, I'm surprised it still turns. With a certain degree. Next battery will definitely have more cold cranking amps, CCA. This thing needs about 220, so if we go 240, 260, should work. Although lithium ion would be better for such a big V-twin. What else have I done? I took the tank off and changed the spark plugs I'll show you those in a minute. And the aftermarket air filter that was put in, I shit you not. Now this is proper Eastrand technology. Okay, you have got an L pipe that goes like that, and they fitted a BMC performance air filter there. Yeah, I know, it sounds impossible. With a metal reducer, and then that goes on the motor, but before that there's blue silicon pipe as an extender or sleeve, which gets put on top, and everything is tightened with snail screws, or what is that, compression clamps? I don't even know what they call them. Yeah, but the worst thing, the engine breather hoses, they just basically cut into that silicone and fed them in there. And there was a space roughly this much where the engine just sucked in air. I actually went past the butterfly and just, got all the sand and grit out of it. So hopefully there's no long-term damage because of that fucking idiot. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Eastrand. Right. So we did that. We cleaned that up. What I basically did was there were garden hose fittings in there. I added a O-ring front and back and pushed them together, and they actually sat between the ridges and created a perfect seal. So fuck Eastrand versus German engineering there, comrade. Yeah, again. Okay, battery tender also fitted. All in all, gentlemen, it's actually very easy to work on this fucking bike. Yeah, I mean, all the good stuff is up here. There's not much down here besides the cooling reservoir the cooling reservoir. I don't know if my Scout is exclusive to it, but there was no water in here, but there was enough in the radiator. So I just filled it up where it says cold full, and we'll see if it uses any, but there's no white smoke. The oil was clean. There was no white in it. So I don't know, maybe it evaporates. It's possible, because the overflow goes into this tank, and this tank has got a T-piece connection which goes into this little filler here. Where does the hot air go to? I mean, the overpressurized air, I mean, it must then bleed out through that. And cooling vapors, aren't they a little corrosive? You tell me here. I don't know what to think of that yet. Okay, what else did I do? These seats, I use Dubbin, which is basically the fat of the merino sheep, and you just rub that in, cleaned it out beautifully, and I gotta say, I'm beginning to like this leather look. Was there anything else? Oil change I did. I think I made a video of it. If not, it'll be on soon enough. And oh yes, of course. The reason I'm reading that ECU is because of this. This here is the piggyback chip. Anger Management EFI. I don't know. Look, this is as suspect as it gets. This looks like flea market type electronics. I mean, the wizard there is already... Who did this? A 5-year-old? Why not just put a big old Suzuki Gixxer R down here to really make it fast? Yeah. Worst part was, whoever installed this broke off one of the OEM clips, so that thing I had to Jippo with a bit of super glue. It's not coming out anymore. Yeah. Small things. Oh, the spark plugs. I changed the original with 2 iridium, which are beautiful. As you can see, it's not bad. I think the piggyback chip, though, allowed it to run a little lean and carbon only. There's a little bit of oil. Little bit. So, look, it could also be that it was standing so many cold starts that the oil went into the cylinder and just blew by. It's all possible, or maybe overfilled. We don't know yet. So, that's that. Still to do, I have ordered a new clutch cable so I can put the OEM handlebars on. And once that happens, then I can do all that. Extended foot pegs, the dealer did not get back to me, so I ordered it from eBay. Like, hey, look, if you're not hungry for my business, I'm not going to run behind you and, kiss your ass to give me customer service. Fuck that. We're in a global world here, global market. Yeah. So, that's that. We're going to upload this ECU document and see what we can do. Hopefully performance will be better. And I can't wait for the ride tomorrow, gentlemen, to bed in the brakes, scrub in the tires, and really see if this thing now pulls like crazy. Because the previous rides, when you twisted the throttle, they hold ass. This one had a little bit of hesitation. Now, either it was that piggyback chip or it was these bearings that were not corresponding anymore. Who knows? What else is on order? Oh yeah, a better air filter, one that sits like a mushroom on top. And progressive fork springs as well, and progressive 413 shocks. 413. I didn't go for the 414. I don't know. Okay, it's basically the cheapest version for $300. Done. It's at least an upgrade from these old ones. Maybe I'll have these rebuilt. Don't even go there. Just go new, Patrick. Just go new. Okay. Sorry if I don't make enough videos, but if I would have filmed the bearings, you would have seen me shirtless, like Putin, wielding a 5-pound hammer and praying I didn't hit the rim. Plus lots of cursing. So that would have not been PG-13 at all. You can get quite creative. Oh, did you know that if you're angry and you start cursing, you always revert to your mother tongue? Try it out. Do it. Let me know in the comments if it works for you. Right, next.